Good afternoon. This is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. It's 2:44 on Tuesday, February 26th. February 26th. So I'm just taking a look at some things I always review before I close out the trading room, what earnings are coming out that night, and see if I like any of the charts to play as a setup for myself for the next day. And Qcor was actually Qcor was one of the ones that has reported scheduled earnings to report tonight. This chart I did a bunch of videos on a while ago. I mean a while ago. Let's just look here. And here's the thing. Ever since this chart first, let's just go over the whole thing. In case some people didn't go back, you can go back and search. I did videos on this for a couple videos back last year. It's not quite a year ago though. When this thing happened here, let's go back to the beginning. Okay. I saw this happen on this day. I was not in it. I did not trade it. Okay. This was not a gap. Okay. This isn't a gap play. So I obviously didn't trade it then because I trade gaps. I only trade gaps. However, what happened here was very critical for the stock. And I said on the video I did that this was devastating to the stock, that it was going to change the trend of the stock forever, if not for a long time, forever, like almost forever. Like you have to look at it like it is forever, even if it's not forever. Okay, do you know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, this is a devastating drop. I don't even remember why this did this, and it doesn't even matter. It just doesn't even matter. The point was, it happened and it was real. What really made this significant, the most significant thing about this bar was, just look at what happened here up to before this point. This had a nice run up. Okay, this had a nice run up here to this number. And as soon as it went up to this number, it fell right back off a cliff here. So that not only is the bar problematic, the way that it happened so quickly after this huge, big, nice, solid buy setup on a daily chart on the 20, on the 8, in a bullish gap formation that ran in this big bar that was $7. It actually broke out to new highs. Look, that was all-time highs for this stock. So there was a lot of reasons why that red bar that happened back in July was so devastating for the stock. It was multiple reasons. And then people were asking me questions about it, and I said that it isn't going to do anything to go back to that number for quite some time. And then lo and behold, it fell in more after that, and it even had a nice big red day here and came in. Then it tried to go higher. This gap here was a sign that there was still a problem. Even though it was a bullish gap, it hadn't corrected the chart yet. There was virtually almost nothing that was going to correct this bar unless the whole thing gaps over this. You know what it would have had to do to correct this bar? This gap wasn't enough here. That would have been a corrective gap for this chart, not this. And you can tell that it wasn't right and it wasn't a good bullish gap because look how it closed with a topping tail and a green body. There wasn't real buying that came in here. In fact, this was just covering from some shorts. Actually, that people that shorted in here probably covered in here. That was part of it. That was going on, like just getting out. And then this is a sad state of affairs here for a rally. I mean, all these bars are red. I'd have to go back and look what the market's doing. I bet the market gapped up all these days. It's just the only reason the stock was gapping up. And this buy setup's a piece of crap too. And then this day happened here. And I don't remember what happened here with this or why. But I do remember seeing it happen in real time. And people wanting to buy this and buy this and buy it as a climactic buy. You know, it was running, and the people that missed it short were trying to buy it. And I said, stay away from this. It's a halt ready to happen. In fact, I don't remember if it did get halted. I'm sure that it did. I'm sure it did. I don't even remember now. It's so long ago. But you don't trade anything that looks like this. You know, if you're in this up here for some reason short that day, which there'd be no reason for you to be. This didn't gap. It didn't do anything. There was no play in the stock after this day. There was no reason to touch it. And this is a mess, and you don't trade things that act like that. Now, this gap you could have played. This was an okay gap. It was a good gap. This one here, a 924. And then people kept talking to me about buying this in here. People kept talking to me about buying this in here. People kept talking about buying this in here the whole time. I got a bunch of emails on it and some comments, and people wanted me to tell them what they thought. And I kept telling them to stay away from it. The chart's lower. Don't buy it. Do not buy this. And this is kind of what I was trying to touch on last night in the webinar. But, you know, talking about supporting resistance for an hour is just not even enough time. I could talk about it for a week. The thing is that you do not bottom feed to trade. That is not how you make money as a professional trader. You don't pick bottoms for lots of reasons. But the most important reason is you can get hurt. I mean, you really can get hurt. People were bottom feed picking this thing for the last several months. And they're thinking that the stock is going to gap up on earnings tonight. And I don't think so. In fact, I've like 100% conviction that the earnings that are coming out in an hour and 10 minutes are going to cause the stock to gap down. This is a top watch for me to short tomorrow if it gaps down. The reality is that this is nothing in here that shows any power of any buying. Nobody wants to buy this stock, and why should they? The chart hasn't recovered, and you know what this chart would have to do to recover? If this is even a buy on the earnings, if it even gaps up. Here. Over this area here, $45, $46. That it has to get all the way up here. If the stock gaps all the way up here, the chart has recovered and you can buy the stock. And it may see this number again. I don't think that's what's going to happen though. That is not my read on this. My read on this is that it is going to gap down. And I have no idea what the earnings are. I don't know at all. But this is my read on the chart. This is something that I've gotten to do very well. I teach how to rate gaps. I teach a 26-point rating system. It is so important to know what you're looking at in charts. And the better I get at trading, the better I can see these things, the clearer I can see these things, just like I saw the market. Just like I saw the market that it was going to turn in the last 2 months, and everybody was bullish. You've got to read what's going on here. There's not power buying in this thing. This is bottom feeder pickers. And those are not the people that have money. Okay, the people that have money that really want to buy the stock to lift it off the ground and recover the price in this are not in this thing yet. And they should not be. They're not ready to be. They haven't been given a reason to be. In fact, I like this so much to gap down despite the green bar today. In fact, the green bar is giving me more conviction it's going to work today. Why? Let's take a look at it. 33. Oh, talk about it. Look at how beautiful it is. It's not going to go above 33 today. Ay. These charts are so nice. The stock rallied to resistance, and there it is. That's what it did in this move that it's making here, right here. This is going to be a beautiful gap if it gaps down under here. Beautiful. Now, the bottom line is you're going to say this is a rally and that this isn't a downtrend. No. It's in an uptrend. No, it's not in an uptrend. The stock is not in an uptrend at all. People are going to argue with me, and they're going to say this stock's in an uptrend, and I'm going to say, no, it's not. This stock is neutral/bearish. Neutral/bearish, and if I have to say anything, I'm going to say bearish, but I'm going to say neutral/bearish to be fair. To be fair, I'm going to say that. And people will argue with me and say, no, it's bullish. No. It's not even bullish in the short-term trend, to be honest with you. It's not. All right? And on top of that, the green bar today gives me conviction in this to gap down on the earnings tonight for several reasons. People that have been short this thing, okay, are covering today some of their position because they're smart and they don't know what the earnings are going to be. So people that did short anywhere in here, that actually were shorting, okay, into these moves, are covering some today right before the earnings, because they're not exactly sure what the earnings are going to be. And in case the earnings gap up to 45, 46 bucks, they're in profit. They're all profitable in this is a short. So they're going to take a position, some of it out. They're going to take half out, take the profit out for the half they made, and let the rest ride to see if they can get any more out of it, or if it would even gap down here. I mean, if this thing gaps in this area, the target tomorrow is $18. It's going to gap in here. This thing isn't going to gap all the way down under 18, I don't think, tonight. I mean, but anything's possible. This thing is a mess. It's a wreck. Anything's possible here with the stock. I got to be honest with you. but I think it's probably going to gap in here. So people are getting out today that are covering short positions to get out some, not all. You can tell that not everybody's getting out, but that's what caused the rally, and it's holding at 33 bucks. So that's some of the people. Some of the people have been buying in here in these dips that for some reason like to pick bottoms. I don't do that, and it's not a good way to trade. Some people are doing that. Not big money, you can tell. So that's some of the green, okay? And some people are anticipating for some reason that this chart is going to gap up. So some people are buying in here, anticipating it too, maybe small, tiny, just in case it does some kind of big gap and then they're up the day before the earnings. Some people do that too. And if it doesn't work out and it gaps in here, they quick it out. But if it works out, it's huge. I mean, people do trade like that. When it works out, they make a lot. When it doesn't, they lose, but they quick it out. All right. So there's a lot of different things going on in today's green bar, but none of them are people that actually are buying this on any kind of correction on the chart, meaning the chart's going to go higher, because it hasn't done anything to show it's going to do that yet. Even people that are buying in here are just buying it, picking the bottom, and that's not a proper way to trade. That's actually not a strategy, and I could do a whole class on that. I mean, I could actually do a day-long class on that. Chart after chart after chart, I could talk to people about it. People want to tell me the gaps fill themselves. It never just is a way to trade. All right. You have to look at what's going on here. It doesn't take a genius to see this. We can all agree that this stock has had a hard sell-off, a terrible sell-off from July of last year. It's had July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. It's had 8 months to try to correct itself, and it could not do it in 8 months. Now, the earnings are coming out tonight, so here's its chance. But then again, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to gap down, and it's going to be lower. And let's just see if it does gap all the way down here, which I don't think it's going to do. I think it's going to be somewhere in here. We're going to play it down here. But if for some reason it would, jeez, 1736. I don't know. We have to see what this thing does. I mean, I'd actually want to see it open in here so I can play it down, because otherwise, really, the next target is in here, 1550. 1550. I mean, I guess this is a big area in here. 1550, 1466. This is not an easy stock to trade intraday. It whips around. It moves. You got to get it at the right place. You got to get everything at the right place. My bias on this, my take on this chart is that I feel confident that the earnings are going to cause it to gap down. I'm only saying that based on the chart. I don't have any other information, all right? But I'm reading the chart. I do know if anybody wants to look to go long this, that nobody should touch it until it gets all the way up here. I mean, if this thing even does a gap into here, it's still not ready yet. The gap shouldn't be bought. The gap is probably going to come in and be red and just be a piece of crap again. And then maybe it'll gap down then the next time it has earnings, okay? Or some other time. The thing is that I like the way that this is acting. And now that I just saw that it didn't get over that $33, I didn't even see that today, this morning, when I was looking at this in the room. This is going to be really good if this works. This is going to be excellent. So we'll have to wait and see. Won't know anything until after 4 o'clock, but I will know then. And I am loving this thing as a short tomorrow if it gaps down. I have no idea if it's going to do it or not yet. I'm just giving you my read on it beforehand. And this is an exact reason why you don't buy this kind of stuff, this kind of bottoming stuff. People think this means it's holding itself up, but the thing is, that's not how I'm reading it. It's just not how I'm reading it at all. Nope, it's not even good enough if it gaps up there. This chart is so damaged by these 2 big moves that this thing has to do something like this. It's kind of like the Netflix. Remember Netflix? Netflix gapped up huge and everybody thought it was a short to come in on the day. And I said, no, it's a buy. That has now fixed the chart. It's corrected. It's what I call a corrective gap. Okay. When something seems like it's so big that it can't possibly, you know, go the way it's supposed to go in the direction of the gap, but yet it does. Why? Because it's a corrective gap. It's another type of gap. All right. I just made up the name myself because that's really what it's doing. And this is what this has to do to work tonight or tomorrow morning, if it's going to go long. But I don't think it's going to happen. This is just an instinct here. So we'll see. So this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. If you're interested in learning how to trade gaps, I'm doing my next gap class in March. I'm in May already. March 9th and 10th. March 9th and 10th is the next gap class I'm doing from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please email me if you're interested in signing up. I'm running a special 2 classes for 1, a trading psychology class and wealth manifestation, and the gap class for the same price, which is $15.99. And you can learn how to trade these gaps. And I also get my calls, on these things. It's to be in my trading room live, you get this stuff. I mean, some of the people that are in my room see me call this stuff day after day after day after day. And if you can take the class and learn how to rate these things yourself, you're really going to be able to make money trading consistently, because these gaps act in ways that are so beautiful. I mean, look at this chart right now. Look at this thing here. This is look at this over here. Oh my goodness, I just saw that now. I just even missed this area. I really like this as a short. All right, we're going to have to see what it does. It's 3 o'clock. I'm going to be doing work here, watching stuff, making videos. Have to see what it does. So this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. Have a great day, everybody.